So very good evening. We'll start our chapter 19. Today we'll discuss about all the derivations, mainly the heat transfer equations, as well as overall heat transfer coefficient, logarithmic mean area for hollow cylinder and hollow spheres. So let's go through. I think we discussed about the heat conduction equations. This is actually the derivation. As you can see that there are multiple layers, each having a different length of LA, LB, and LC, and gradually temperature decreases from T1 all the way to T4. And intermediate temperatures are T2 and T3. So what happens if the thickness of the slab and the thermal conductivity of each layers are given? You can easily determine the overall heat transfer coefficient, as well as the total amount of heat loss, that is Q. That will be nothing but Q will be individual heat loss from this surface to this surface. The same heat loss will be from second surface, second slab, and then finally in the third slab. So as you can see, Q equal to Ka T1 minus T2 by La, and similarly so on. Where actually RTHA is actually the thermal resistance for slab A, RTHB thermal resistance for slab B, and RTHC thermal resistance for slab C. So if you add all this term, right hand term, then overall you can get Q equal to A T1 minus T4 divided by La by K plus LB by KB plus LC by KC. I think you already showed this equation. I think, and then if you divide it by this A, you get actually individual thermal resistance. So you can write this equation in terms of Q equal to the delta T, that is the temperature divided by the summation of thermal resistance. So these are the things we already discussed. I just put these slides again so that it's become you become aware of the derivations, and if you have any doubts, you can easily go back and see these slides to better understand how the derivations happens. Okay. So let us again look into these equations. That is the thermal contact resistance. If the contact between two slabs, there are temperature drops. As you can see that the temperature is not continuous. There is a sudden drop, temperature drop at the interface between A and B, T2 minus T3. Then temperature drop at the interface B and C is T4 minus T5. So how do you get the contact resistance? Actually, contact resistance is nothing but the thermal resistance between A and B, which is given by T2 minus T3 divided by Q by A. So remember this equation. Similarly, for the second part, that is thermal resistance between B and C, T4 minus T5 divided by QA. This also expression we have derived in our last class. I have added these slides here so that you can, again, read these slides and understand better. So most important is the overall heat transfer coefficient, which we actually talked in the last class. So let us consider a slab of thickness L, and the thermal conductivity of the material is given by K. T1 is the temperature at the interface between the hot fluid and the slab, whereas the T2 is the temperature at the other end of the slab and with the cold fluid. And the hot fluid, the inlet temperature is THF, and the cold fluid temperature is finally TCF. And if you can see, HHF is actually convective heat transfer coefficient for the hot fluid to the metal surface, and HCF is the convective heat transfer coefficient for the metal surface to the cold fluid. So there are actually three layers. One is the hot fluid, then there is a metal slab, then finally is the cold fluid with the metal slab. So how do you approach to this kind of problem? So we have to first know the heat loss for the convection due to hot fluid and the metal surface, which is actually QHF into A, THF minus T1. Then for the metal slab, QK into A, T1 minus T2 divided by L. And finally, between the metal slab and the cold fluid equal to HCF into A, T2 minus TCF. So if you add this term, and then if you rearrange this term and then add the whole terms, individual 4, 5, and 6, then you get Q equal to A THF minus TCF divided by 1 by HF plus L by K plus 1 by HCF. But actually, if you say that U is the overall heat transfer coefficient, considering the whole three layers as a single layers, then overall heat transfer coefficient given by Q equal to U into A THF minus TCF, which is equal to this. So you can say equilibrating these two equations, U will be 1 by 1 plus 1 over HCF plus L by K plus 1 by HCF. So this expression is very, very useful. I think if you need to do any kind of numericals in future, you should always remember these expressions, and it will be easy for you. Now, heat conduction through a hollow cylinder also we discussed. This is actually a hollow cylinder, you can say. having a three different radius R1 and R2. And then there is a small incremental radius considered as dr, which is actually can be given the temperature drop by dt, T1 minus T2. So the thermal resistance given by ln R2 by R1 divided by 2 pi KL, right? Thermal resistance. So how do you approach? The approach is very similar. We can easily substitute that fixed Fourier's law equal to Q minus Ka dt by dr. dt is the temperature difference. Dr is actually the temperature loss, that heat flux happening through the small incremental distance of dr. You can see that referred to figure 2.5. You are considering element of radius r and the thickness actually considering dr, or the length of the hollow cylinder through which heat is transmitted. So let dt is the temperature drop over the element. So the area through which heat is transmitted is 2 pi RL. So you can substitute this Ka equal to 2 pi RL and dt by dr, and then you can rearrange this term Kq into dr by r minus K 2 pi L dt, and then integrate with the proper boundary conditions, that is R1 and R2, and to the respective temperature T1 and T2. You solve for it, and you get T1 minus T2 ln R2 by R1 2 pi K. So this is the expression we discussed in the last class, but I did not show you the derivation. So here is the derivation. If you have any doubt, you can always look into the slide. Okay. Then this is the most important slides, I would say, that logarithmic mean area for the hollow cylinder, which actually I talked about it, but I did not derive it. The derivation was not being done. So what actually happened? We can actually represent this the temperature difference and the area all by using some logarithmic mean area, logarithmic radius. Let us see how this is being done. So you can see it is you can see that this is a hollow cylinder where actually the inside radius and outside radius are R1 and R2 and corresponding temperature T1 and T2. So what will be the thickness of this hollow cylinder will be equal to the radius difference in the radius, that is R2 minus R1. And the area A will be equivalent to area can be given by mean area by AM, as shown in the figure 2.46. So what actually saying that we can replace this hollow cylinder by using a plane wall. We just consider the features what has been happening into this hollow cylinder by constituting a plane wall. So we are considering the plane wall having a thickness R2 minus R1, just like the thickness over which heat loss happened for the hollow cylinder. Temperature T1 and T2. Equivalent area for the hollow cylinder is 2 pi Karen. We are considering that is AM, equivalent area. So what is the expression for hollow cylinder? We already derived Q equal to T1 minus T2 ln R2 by R1 2 pi Kl. So if you substitute this expression by considering this a plane wall, the expression should be same. Only difference is that we are considering the area 2 pi KL, 2 pi RL. We are just considering it by AM. That is the mean area, the equivalent area, mean area. So these two expressions can be equilibrated, and then you solve for AM. So actually AM becomes, all the terms get cancelled. Actually AM becomes 2 pi L R2 minus R1 divided by ln R2 by R1, which can be written in 2 pi L R2 minus 2 pi L R1 divided by ln 2 pi L R2 by 2 pi L R1. So 2 pi L R2 is nothing but the area for the outer cylinder, and 2 pi L R1 is the area for the inner cylinder. So that's why you can substitute AM equal to A0 minus AI divided by A0 minus AI. So A0 and AI and A0 are the inside and outside side. So this is why this expression actually said this is logarithmic mean area. It is the logarithmic mean area, that is actually difference in the area between outside and inside divided by ln A0 minus AI. Now if A0 by AI is less than 2, then we can take arithmetic mean, that is mean area AI by plus A0 by 2, which is within 4% of AM. And if it is greater than 2, then we can write then AM equal to 2 pi RML. We can write this actually mean area by 2 pi RML, and then it can be equilibrated with this, and finally we get what we get is we can represent this expression to equal this to expression, and then actually Rm become R2 minus R1 divided by ln R2 by R1. So that is Rm is actually here logarithmic mean radius. Okay, so you can see the expressions are same for AM and Rm. Okay, so this is how I express. Then I think we also discussed about heat conduction through a composite cylinder. Again, this expression you can derive. There are multiple hot fluid flowing through this. There's cold fluid outside. Okay, so you can write down the temperature of the hot fluid flowing inside the layer. THF, TCF is the temperature of the cold fluid atmospheric outside. K is the thermal conductivity inside layer A. Then there is another layer, that is thermal conductivity outside layer B. T1, T2, these are the temperature at point 1, 2, and 3. This is point 1, this is 2, and this is 3. Length of the composite cylinder is given by L. HF, HCF are the inside and outside heat transfer coefficient. So rate of heat transfer given by QHF 2 pi R1 L THF minus T1 equal to Ka 2 pi L T1 minus T2 ln by R2 by R1. Then again Kb, this is equal to Kb 2 pi L T2 minus T3, that is temperature drop in the third layer divided by ln R3 plus R2. Finally, temperature drop at the outside layer, that is KHCF 2 pi R3 ln T3 minus TCF. So these two, all the expressions you can write, temperature you can write on the left hand side and the other expression right hand side. You add all these things, then it's become like this. Q equal to 2 pi L THF minus TCF divided by 1 by HF plus into R1 ln R2 by R1 K ln R3 by R2 KB plus 1 by HCF by R3. So actually if you have n number of cylinder, then you can write into the summation. This is also expression we derived, we discussed, so I have derivation is here, you can look into it. So let us talk about heat conduction through hollow spheres. As you can see, there is this is an hollow sphere which are having an inner and outer radii of R1 and R2 respectively. That respective temperatures are T1 and T2 at inside and outside temperature. K is the thermal conductivity of the material. So how do you approach to this problem? We consider a small element of thickness dr at any radius r, and over this, the heat transfer happening, heat loss is happening through this over an area of 4 pi r square. So you could using that Fourier's law, you can use Q equal to minus Ka. So the A is replaced by 4 pi r square dt by dr. And then we rearrange this term and then integrate over the proper boundary conditions. That is R1, R2 and T1, T2 respectively. And we get finally Q equal to 4 pi K R1, R2, T1 minus T2 divided by R1, R2 minus R1, which can be written in terms of T1 minus T2 divided by R2 minus R1, 4 pi K R1, R2. So this expression you have seen in the last class. This is how you derive this expression, okay, by integrations. This is the most easiest method. Let's look into the logarithmic main area for the hollow spheres, as you discussed for hollow cylinders. So the same can be used for hollow sphere also. So we know the expressions for heat loss through hollow sphere. T1 minus Q equal to T1 minus T2 divided by R2 minus R1 by 4 pi K R1 R2. So if you consider that hollow sphere in terms of a plane wall with the same difference in the distance is R2 minus R1 and mean area is by AM. We can write this by Q plane wall T1 minus T2 divided by R2 minus R1 KN. AM is so chosen that the heat flow through the sphere at any plane wall will be equal for the same thermal potential. So you can equal this Q sphere Q plane wall and write this expression, and ultimately you get AM equal to 4 pi R1 R2. You can take the square of both sides, AM square 4 pi R1 R2 square, that is 4 pi R1 square into 4 pi R2 square, which is nothing but the area of inside and outside. So AM actually is square root of AI A0. So actually you can see for a hollow sphere it is the mean area is geometric mean, right? The mean area is geometric mean. Now AM, if you consider this the mean radius Rm, then you can write 4 pi Rm square, same concept, and you can see Rm is equal to square root R1 R2. So Rm is the logarithmic mean radius for hollow sphere, which is actually follow the geometric mean radius, right? And geometric mean area. Then we heat conduction through a composite sphere. We considered heat conduction through a composite cylinder. So let us consider for a composite sphere. You can see this figure. There's a hot fluid flowing through this inside, and then a cold fluid outside. The radius are given different R1, R2, and R3. The temperature given T1, T2, and T3. Similarly, that we can write the expression Q equal to HF 4 pi R1 square THF minus T1. THF is the temperature inside, the hot fluid temperature. Then next is 4 pi Ka R1 R2 T1 minus T2 divided by R2 minus R1 is equal to 4 pi Kb R2 R3 T2 minus T3 R3 minus R2. Finally, HCF 4 pi R3 square T3 minus TC. Then you can take the temperature on the left hand side and other parameter on the right hand side, add this equation, and then finally Q equal to 4 pi THF minus TCF divided by 1 HF R1 square R2 minus R1 K R2 R3 by R2. Sorry, R2 by R1, R3 minus R2 KB, R2 by R3 plus 1 by HCF R3 square. So as you can see, I'll magnify this place a little bit higher. You can see So what you can see, you can rearrange this term, and then we can write into the summation form also. Okay. Most important is this is the expression. You should, if you look into this expression, then get to solve, because if you have 3 layers. Okay. I hope you understood this.